What's up, travelers? How's it going? Have I got a review for you? Welcome to Book Reviews. Today we're reviewing Nathaniel Wild's Dreams of Fire. Let me give you a little overview. Ferris has the misfortune of being an elemental. Born human but host to barely contained primal energies, he wants what any young person wants, the chance to live his own life. Yet the fiery forces within him make him a danger to those around him and a target and capture and study by the Science Guild. On the lone continents, humans thrive in the cities through the Guild's revolutionary technology, while the forests are home to powerful wild magic. Ferris must confront his fear of capture, fear of wild fae in the woods, and above all, fear of his abilities if he's to remain free. Now, if you're new to this channel, here's how I do my reviews. I'm going to do 3 things of positive notes, 3 things of negative notes, and then I'm going to wrap up my final thoughts on the whole thing, which tends to be a summary of all those points I made. The way I review things is, because I find numbers and stars arbitrary, I just give you what I think you should do with this book. Like, you should totally buy this book. You should totally read this book. You could start it, but I don't know if you'd finish it. And definitely don't start this book. Let's get into these reviews, shall we? Pro number 1. I love that I didn't see the twist coming. I know there's readers out there that find stuff out like this, but I'm glad there's still stories out there that don't hold your hand towards it. Also, to be fair, it's probably made it harder for me to figure out the twist because I was listening to an audiobook. I don't know, I feel like reading it with your own eyes makes you more susceptible to picking up stuff because you're seeing the whole page rather than just hearing someone tell it. Kind of like Whisper Down the Lane, you know? Stuff gets missed. Anyway, but I loved it. There was a scene in there where I went, holy shit, I did not expect that to come. But it did. And I'm here for it. Pro number 2. It's a standalone book. At least I think it is. Not 100% positive if it is, but I do know the story is contained. There's a beginning, middle, and end with Ferris. Although you can continue with Ferris, his story could have wrapped up where it wrapped up in the book. Or his story is fine wrapped up the way it was wrapped up in the book. Pro number 3. I love the character. I like how realistic they feel. And that seems like, even when I was writing that, it seemed like such a weird thing to compare. I see it in reviews all the time, but I think it's such a weird thing to say. But with this book, I think it makes sense because as someone who plays a ridiculous amount of heroic video games, the amount of times where every character just is a hero, I feel like that is unrealistic, especially considering reality we live in. Whereas these characters really don't want to choose the heroic route. They want to just survive. And that's kind of valid. So I really like seeing that in books, you know. Con number 1. And this is probably a me thing. And also stems from me listening to the audiobook and not reading it because I can't find what I did with the actual book. It got lost in the mini moving and unpacking and repacking. Oh God, I can never sit still in a place for too long, apparently. But that being said, while listening to this, I also was listening to this every time I was driving to and from work, which is probably not safe if you want to really pay attention, but I would lose my way. I'm used to books following one character per chapter and then swapping off, but this is back to you can be in a character's head for a quarter of the chapter and then next chapter they'll scene change and you'll be with somebody else and it would throw me off. Like, not an issue with the narrator, although sometimes I do feel like the accents blended together. But since, again, I'm not reading it myself and picking my own pace or doing whatever, I I would just lose focus a lot. Con number 2. It's a standalone novel. I know that was one of the things that I said it was a great thing, because it is. Ferris's story was wrapped up, and I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is all the questions that I'm left with about the other characters. I mean, come on. Kind of curious about how the Science Guild started, why they thought, like, I want more of the Science Guild. You know, you don't get a lot. This is completely Ferris's story. It's mostly his perspective. You get perspectives of other people. You get a little hint of world building outside of what's going on with Ferris. But then there are other characters that get introduced, and it's like, I want to know more about you and how you became the way that you are. Which brings us into con number 3. These characters can get fucked. Yeah, I love how realistic they are, but also that fucking sucks. It's because what do you mean you're okay with how the Science Guild treats people because it's your job, and then the one person who gets mistreated is like, I would probably do the same thing in your position. What do you mean? There's not a single chaotic, heroic person who will risk their lives to end this. Although I think there is. There was one character that seemed to help. But again, because this is a containment of Ferris's story, you don't get more of that. Again, like I said, you could totally make a sequel, or you could have just ended it right here. I need to know, because I want to know if all the characters suck in this story. Like, there was just scenes every single time where it's like, oh, I love this character, and then they would do or say one thing, and I went, just kidding, I hate you now. Or, I lost respect for you. I'm like, I lost respect for Ferris. What do you mean you're going to apologize to the person that was going to take away your freedom? Don't apologize to them. Stand up for yourself. Listen, getting me to hate a character is just as great as getting me to love a character, because I just feel like if you feel passionate about characters, that's a positive thing, even if you want to passionately strangle those characters. Anyway, I thought this was a nice, sweet, and short novel to get me out of my reading slump, and it did. It truly got me out of my reading slump. As soon as I finished this, I went and I finished an Advanced Reader Copies book, which my review is going to be coming out about that soon too, as well. And now I'm back into a book that I got from Fan Expo, and I got it signed and everything, and I haven't read it, and I'm reading it now, and I'm just, I miss this. And so I feel like this, I feel that having this nice itty bitty book dessert was just enough to go back and make me want entrees again. Anyway, I know this author is also on the Tube of Youbes. I'm going to link everything down below. My rating for this is definitely worth the read. Thank you for traveling with Lost Train of Thoughts. I'm your conductor, Zenita D. Later days.